Hello everybody, is the audibility fine? Am I audible to each and every one of you? Is the audibility absolutely fine? Shall we start today's class? Shall we? Great. I think we should start then. If the audibility is fine, I think we should start the class. Good afternoon everybody. Good afternoon Ratnakar, Shalvi, Study Guru, Utkarsh, Raman, Fiza, Ravi, Deepa, Vinay, Vishnu. Great. Jamuna, Ramadas, Priyanka. Great. Good afternoon. I think we should start the class. So this will be my penultimate class. After this, I am left with only one session and that will be tomorrow, right? So before starting today's class, this is the PDF of the session. I have already distributed the PDF and the PDF is available. The PDF of this session is available in the Gate Academy Global Telegram channel, and other than that, the PDF is available in one more Telegram channel, that is Saurabh Official. So both these Telegram channel, you can avail the benefit. So what you can do is you can install the Telegram and you can straight away go to these two channels. And sir has already shared the link. If you want, you can straight away go to these channels and download the PDF, right? In this PDF, I have given you 120 questions, the one that I have almost discussed in this crash course. Sir, are these questions important? No, they are not just important, they are very, very important questions. If you revise all these 120 questions, the probability is very high that you get a very, very good marks. Fine. So I do believe that you will download it and you will study this. Second point is, to all those people who have attended every single session, this is my 10th session, that's remarkable. And to all those people who somehow missed any of the session, all the sessions are available on YouTube. There is a playlist of the general aptitude. You can go through the videos once again, even after once I'm done with my session, or after this session as well. But do make sure that you go through each and every video more than once. And do make sure that you make notes of every single video that I have uploaded, right? Let's start. Great, fabulous. So I think we should start today's class. Fabulous. Before starting today's class, I want you people to jot down right at the top of your notebook, and that is, be the hero of your own movie. I want you people to jot this down. Be the hero of your own movie. Be the hero of your own movie. Be the hero of your own movie. To understand this, be the hero of your own movie. The very first thing is, almost all of us, we have watched Bahubali. One incredible, one heck of a movie. Unbelievable experience. It was a riveting experience to watch Bahubali. And each one of us, we have liked Prabhas' character. Prabhas Sahab is a remarkable actor, and other than that, the character he portrayed was unbelievable. Why we have liked that character? Because each one of us, deep down our heart, deep down our gut, we want to be a hero. Then first of all, who is a hero? Yes, be the hero of your own movie. That is great. First of all, who is a hero? A hero is a one who shows his heroism. Victory or failure does not decide who the hero is. It is the heroism that decides the hero. I want you people to jot this down. It is the heroism, it is not the victory, it is not the failure that decides who a hero is. It is the heroism, it is the mannerism, it is the code of conduct, it is the behavior, it is the moral code of conduct, it is the discipline, it is fighting against adversity, it is when you are down and out, you are pushed against the wall, it is rising from your own ashes like a phoenix. I think we should start today's class, shall we? Absolutely. So I want you people to believe this. From today onwards, I want you people to believe this, that I will be hero of my own movie. I want you people to write this, each and every one of you. I will be hero of my own movie. And do remember this, that it is your movie and you can be whatever you want. Choose to be a hero of your own movie, right? It is not the success, it is not the failure that decides a hero, it is the heroism that decides the hero. Great, absolutely. So I think we should start today's session. I want you people to write right at the top, percentage and its applications. Percentage and its application. percentage and its applications. Very easy topic, and many topics are there in percentage. Many small topics actually. Very small wisdom nuggets are there in this particular topic. The very first point of this topic is, what is a percentage change? A percentage change is, I want you people to jot this, final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100%. Sir, do we find these kind of questions? Are these kind of questions there in GATE exam? Of course. In GATE exams, you will see most of the questions are very easy to slightly moderate level, but most of the questions from general aptitude are very easy, right? Sir, what is an initial value and what is the final value? For example, you have 100 rupees and your parents saw you studying day and night, and what they have done, they have given you 20 rupees more. So now you have 120 rupees. Earlier you had this and now you have 120 rupees. This 120 rupees is final value. On the contrary, this is initial value. So when I said percentage change, this is what I meant. 120 minus 100 upon 100 into 100%. That is, the amount of money you had is actually rose by 20%. Fabulous. The amount of money you had actually rose by 20%. Fabulous. Now, second point is, listen to this very carefully. The word change is neither positive nor negative. This word change is neither positive nor negative. This can be positive, this can be negative. It's absolutely fine. Sir, so how do we decide this? I'll explain that. For example, when you're saying that change is positive, what is the meaning of that? It means you are probably talking about profit percentage. Profit percentage is also called as gain percentage. This is when you consider this change to be positive. And what is the meaning of this profit percentage or gain percentage? Selling price minus cost price upon cost price into 100%. That's it. So this is the first kind of change. And what is the other kind of change? The other kind of change is loss percentage. So what is a loss percentage? Loss percentage is cost price minus selling price upon cost price. Actually, both these formulas are absolutely same. In both these cases, we respect with respect to the cost price. When it is positive, we term it as profit percentage or gain percentage. When it is negative, we say it is a loss percentage. And do remember, at the very same time, I want you people to remember this as well. I said when you calculate it with respect to cost price, you call it profit percentage or loss percentage, but something which is very similar to this is called margin percentage, right? Something which is very similar to this is called margin percentage. Although till date, GATE has never asked any question from margin percentage, but I have given one question from this. Profit margin or margin percentage, right? Profit margin or margin percentage. How am I supposed to write? Exactly the very same thing. Selling price minus cost price. And then when you calculate it with respect to, with respect to selling price. That's it. Rest of the things remains the same. Fabulous. So what is that I have written till now? I want you people to this. I want you people to just go through this once. Take a small breather. Take 10 seconds gap. Take a small breather and just go through this what I've discussed. So the very first point in percentage change is final value minus initial value upon initial value. And then there is selling price minus cost price upon cost price, which is called profit percentage. The very same thing, when it is negative, then it is called loss percentage. On the contrary, when we calculate this in terms of selling price, this we name, this is what we call, what is that we call? This is something that we call margin percentage or profit margin. Let's take a very basic example of this, right? I think each one of you have written this. Great. Let's take a very basic question. Once again, this question actually came from in your GATE exam. This is the question. I have not even changed the data. This question was there in your exam, right? Oh, sorry. This question was there in your exam. Yes, this is the question. As I told you earlier as well, in general aptitude, you will see very basic question in your GATE exam. Very basic. Very, very basic question. There are very few occasions when they have asked slightly difficult questions, right? And that is why I said all those people who have attended all these sessions and if they have made notes, they'll find your paper. You guys will find the paper very, very easy. Let's see this. This is not my question. This is the one which actually came in your GATE exam. So what is the question? Some data has been given to you. Okay, these are the categories: food, clothing, rent, savings, and other expenditures. Fabulous. What is the amount? 4,100, 1,200, 2,000, 1,500, 1,800. What is that they are looking for? This is what they want. Approximate percentage of monthly budget not spent on saving. So other than savings. Okay, great. If this is the case, even I know that you have got calculator, but still. The point is, anyways, we should add all these things. Very good, Shabash. So let's remove these two zeros. Anyways, those zeros will be there. That's not a problem. Great. So this is 40, 50, 60, 70, 90, 98, 100, 105. Absolutely. So what is the total amount? The total amount is 105. I have cut two zeros throughout, so that's fine. Right? 105 00 of course. And then other than saving. So if I subtract savings from here, what is that I am going to get? I am going to get 9090. So this is what they have actually asked. Fabulous. So basically it is 6 by 7. If anyone knows this, 1 by 7 is called a revolving fraction. 142857. So the exact answer would be 85.7142. But this is not required. This kind of thing is not required. What they're looking for, 10%, no, this is not the correct answer. 14%, no. 81%, no. Actually, these two answers were somewhat close, but it's absolutely fine. I think this is good enough. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to all? So what is the answer? The answer is 85%. Fabulous. Very basic question. And not just this. Time and again they've asked similar kind of very, very basic questions. Let's take one more. Let's take one more very basic question. Once again, as I told you, the very same, this question as well. Yeah. This question was also asked in your GATE exam. This is not my question. This question was also asked in your GATE exam. To those people who have the PDF, they can straight away move to 75th question. And to those people who don't have the PDF, that's fine. They can solve this question right now. Absolutely. Well done. So we can clearly see that it is very, very basic question. So what is that they have asked? This is what they have asked. They have asked, the annual expenditure is given. Okay, fine. This is a 2010 data and this is 2011 data. This kind of graph, when you are provided with consecutive years, this kind of graph is called YOY graph. What is a YOY graph? Year on year or year to year graph. Once again, I am repeating this: year on year or year to year. Right? When the data from two consecutive years are given, it is called a YOY graph, that is year on year or year to year. What is that they have asked? In the year 2011, okay, which of the following two categories have registered same percentage increase? They have categorically used the word increase. So the very first thing we should see is that we should consider only those numbers where you can actually find the increase. Okay. So from 52 to 60, from 52 to from 52 to 64 point this, that is, there is a clear cut increment of 20%. Fabulous. If this is 7070 and this is 34 point this, that is 35%. This is a clear increment of 35%. Remarkable. Fine. This is 9090 126. What is the increment? There is an increment of 4040%. Absolutely. From 20 to 25, there is an increment of 25%. This is also nice. After this, when you see this, from 500 to 195, this is actually a decrement. But because we have been asked regarding increment, I think we should not consider this. We should not even consider this. The point is, all those options which has got advertisement in it, I think we should reject it, because we are actually looking for those numbers where we can clearly see increment. So even before solving, we can clearly see that either A will be answer or D will be the correct answer. Great. Let's see the last one. If you see the last one, from 22 to 260, 22 to 26.4, there is an increment of 20%. So we can clearly see that raw material and what is that? R&D. You can see the same increment, and that is of 20-20%. I think this is fair enough. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to each and every one of you? Absolutely. Right? So these are the two questions I have given in the PDF as well. So you can see that. And that is why I am holding this. So you can see this. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to each and every one of you? Absolutely. This question was asked in your GATE exam. This is not my question. You can clearly see that all these questions are very, very easy. One question I can give assignment. The question which is very, very similar to this. This is the one question which I should give assignment to you guys. So I want you people to finish this off, and you can post it in the comment box once this video is live, right? And that question is question number 76. I want you people to jot this. Question number 76. This you have to solve. Similar to Ola cab, there is Mola cab. Mola, what is that? It is similar to Ola cab. Who are the founders of Ola? Ankit Bhati and who's the second person? Bhavesh Agrawal and Ankit Bhati. These are two people who are founders of Ola cab, right? Ola is not registered in the name Ola is not registered. They have registered their company as ANI Technologies Limited, right? So, but that is not important whatsoever that is. So this is the question that you should complete, and you have to post it in the comment box once this video is live. I think this is clear to each and every one of you. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear? Let's take a few more examples. Let's take this one. It's a very beautiful example, very beautiful, well crafted example. What kind of example is this? Let's see this. I want you people, to those people who have got the sheet, those people who have got the PDF, I want you people to move to question number, what is this, 72. I want you guys to move to question number 72. Another cakewalk, absolute cakewalk, right? Why it is a cakewalk? Let's see this. Let's see what has been asked. Sir, Venn diagram, is it important? Venn diagram, syllogism, pie chart, all these things are absolutely same, right? There is no difference as such. So what is mentioned? It has actually talked about the students' preference during their leisure time. So these are those people who love to read books, watch TV, and this is play sports. Okay, fine. So what is that we've asked? From the given data, the number of students who like to read books or play sports. Now listen to this. What is the important word in this case? The most important word here is this or. I want you people to underline this word or. Underline this word or. Sir, why you have underlined that? Let me explain this. When it is mentioned that reading books or play sports, it means all these data from reading books or play sports. It means those people, those students who are there in this circle, reading books, 13 plus 12 plus 7 plus 44. And other than that, whatsoever is left, that is 15 plus 17 as well. Sir, you mean to say that in this particular question, what they are asking is this. What they are asking is this. This is what they are asking. Reading books or play sports. It is not and. It is reading books or play sports. This is what they are asking. When you use the word or, it means either of the two or both. Everything is welcome. So I want you people to draw it like this, right? So what is the answer? The answer is 108, absolutely correct. Sir, what would have been the answer if what? If we were asked this. If we were asked reading books and play sports. Sir, in this case, what would have been the answer? Anyone who would like to say the answer? If the question would have been reading books and play sports, what do you say? I'm sorry. Not this one. Let me check that. If instead of this, if we would have been asked this, reading books and play sports. If instead of this, if the question was reading books and, it means when you use the word and, this is what it means. What is that? It means if this question would have been reading books instead of or, if it was and, reading books and play sports. If this would have been the question, this would have meant this. This would have meant this. Reading books, play sports. Something that is common between both these things. Something that is common between both these things. It means 44 plus 7. Great. So in this case, the answer would have been 44 plus 7, and that is 51. I think this is absolutely fine. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to all? Great. In the year 2020, although this has been a catastrophic year, but right at the beginning of the year, this particular year, actually your GATE exam took place. So in your GATE exam, this question was asked in 2019-20, right? This question was asked in 2019-20. This is the one. We can take this question. The very similar question, right? Let's see this. What has been asked? So this is the question. Let's see this. What is that they are looking for? This triangle represents teachers, this rectangle represents administrators, and this circle represents researchers. So what is that has been asked? The percentage of administrators, what does that mean? It means administrators upon total. That is what they are looking for. Administrators upon total. Very nice. Very nice. So when you say administrators, what is the meaning of this? 2020, 1010 and 2020. Okay, so this is 10 plus 20 plus 20. And what is the meaning of total? So this is administrator, the same thing. And after this, whatever that we are left with, 7070 and 4040. Is it clear, buddy? This is a very, very nice question. So 20, 20, 10, that is 5050, and followed by 50 plus 40, 90 plus 70 is 160. So this is 160. 1 by 16 is 6.25%. 5 by 16 would pan out 31.25%. Would pan out as 31.25%. So the answer must be between this. I think this is absolutely clear. Shall we proceed further? Is it fine, everybody? it is absolutely fine, right? So this is what they have asked in your GATE exam. I have already given this in the PDF. If to all those people who have downloaded it, I have given everything in this PDF, whatever I am discussing and whatever I have already discussed. So I have given all these questions over here, right? So do make sure that you download this PDF. The PDF has already been shared in GATE Academy Global Telegram channel and Saurabh Sir Official. Both the channels are available. If you want, you can download it anytime, whenever you want, right? Great. Let's take one more example. Let's take a very basic example from this pie chart. So this question was asked last year. This question was asked in your GATE exam. This question was asked last year in your GATE exam. To those people who have the PDF, I am talking about question number 71st, and to those people who don't have the PDF, see this. What is that that is given? In this particular question, this question was asked in the year 2019, by the way, right? In this particular question, what has been talked about? They have mentioned two different years, and that is 2010 and 2016. In the year 2010, what has happened? In the year 2010, and we are talking about the year 2016. Okay. So what has happened? In the year 2010, there are total how many employees? 600 employees. And this is the bifurcation of the number of employees. Okay. 25%, the half of 600, 300, further half is 150. So this is 150, this is 150, this is 150, this is 120, and this is 30. So this is the bifurcation of the employees in the year 2010. Now what has happened? The number of employees actually increased by what percentage? By 15%. What does that mean? It means 90 more employees. So number of employees actually increased by 15%. It means 600 employees were there earlier, and then 90 people actually increased. So now the company has 690 employees. But what has happened in this case? What has been given is P, Q and R. In these three categories, number of employees remained the same. What is that? P, where is that? P, Q and R. Okay. The number of employees remained 120, 150, 150 and 120. That's fine. And the number of employees went up by 40%. Where? In which case? The number of employees went up by 40% in S category. Okay. So earlier S had 150 employees, that is in the year 2010. Now the number of employees in S in the year 2016 would be what? Earlier it had 150 employees, right? And then it increased by 40%. That is 10% of this is 15, 40% would be 60. So now it has got 210 employees. So what I have understood, out of these 90 employees, as there is a clear-cut increase of 90 employees, but P, Q and R remained constant, and out of these 90 employees we can see 60 people went to this category S. So how many that we are left with? We are left with 30 more employees. We are of course left with 30 more employees. It means this must be increased by 30 more. So all in all, what should be the answer? The answer must be 6060. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear? Is it fine? Great. I think this is good enough, right? So this question was asked in the year 2019. As I said, I have given this question in the booklet. You should prefer the booklet. You should prefer the PDF. I have given everything right in the PDF. So one more assignment for you guys. I want you people to complete this as well. I have given a very basic question to understand what pie chart looks, how pie chart looks like. And this is, I think each one of us can complete this, right? So I want you people to complete question number 7070th. I have bifurcated it. I have given two detergent markets, and this I won't be taking this question. This will be an assignment. So what I have talked about, I have talked about two different detergent markets and its distribution in the year 2002 and 2003. So in the year 2002, the distribution of this, always remember this, there are two kinds of graphs. The first kind of graph is called value wise graph or value basis graph. Both these words are absolutely same. Value wise or value basis. It means that the graph which has been given to you is in the form of dollar or euro or rupee, whatever that is, that the graph which has been given to you is in monetary terms. On the contrary, if, and not just pie chart, any kind of graph, there is another way of giving the graph, and that is volume wise, or for the very same thing you may call volume basis. Volume basis. It means the graph that is given in kg, ton, quintal, those kind of things, right? Great. So I think we can definitely complete this. So this particular question you have to complete, question number 7017. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to all? Is it clear to all? Right. As I said, I am saying this once again, I have given the PDF, so please download this. The PDF is already given in the Telegram channel, in Gate Academy Global Telegram channel, and that Saurabh Sir Official, both these Telegram channels, right? So I think we are in this position to complete this. Fabulous. Let's take one example from line graph, right? Let's take one example from line graph. Let's take a very beautiful example, one very beautiful example, so that you can understand line graph as well. Okay, so this line graph has been given to you. To those people who have got the PDF, question number 77th I am talking about. To those people who have the PDF, I am talking about question number 77. Okay, nice. Let's see this, what has been given to us and what we are talking about. So the graph which was given to us is between 1995 and 2001. We can clearly see that it is a YOY, that is year on year or year to year graph. This is the graph that is given to you, right? Great. So we can understand that. Now what is that is given? So we've understood the x-axis. Now let's see the y-axis. In the y-axis we can clearly see that it is a ratio. Every single time whenever you come across words like ratio, percentage, fraction, give importance to these kind of words because they are not absolute quantities. Ratio, fraction and percentage. I want you people to jot this point. These are not absolute quantities, right? So this is it. So what kind of ratio has been given to us? Import upon export has been given to us. Fabulous. How to read this kind of graph? To those people who have not read any kind of graph or who have got less experience, so let me explain this. In the year 1995, import upon export ratio is 0.65. In the year 1997, import upon export ratio is 0.35. Nice. In the year 2001, the import upon export ratio is 1.55. Is it fine, everybody? Shall I consider this? That each and every one of you understood this? The ratio, what kind of ratio? The import upon export ratio has been given to us, and I do believe that each one of us, we have understood how to read this graph. Fine. This is absolutely fine. First of all, let's see the question that has been asked, right? If the import in the year 1998, okay, was rupees, just see the unit. In case of data interpretation, what is important is the unit. In the year 1998, okay, what has been given? Then in the year 1998, the import is rupees 250 crores. Okay, great. And after that, whereas the total export in the year 98 and 99 was this much. Okay, so export in the year 98 plus export in the year 1999. What is that? It is rupees 500 crore. Okay, fine. We also know that this 1998, that is this particular year, the ratio between import and export is 1.25. If this is the case, we can't we directly use it like this? 1998, it is 1.25. What is 1.25? 5 by 4. Fabulous. What we know that the import in the year 2000, in the year 1998 was 250. So this is 250 upon export 1998. Nice, absolutely phenomenal. So this would be 1.25 or 5 by 4. Ultimately, the export panned out to be 200 rupees 200 crore. So what we can clearly see in this case is, if the export in the year 1998 was 200 crores, that is, if this is rupees 200 crores, can we find the export in the year 1999? And if we can, then what is the value? Nice. So the export in the year 1999 would be 500 crore minus this 200 crore, right? I am writing every single step so that each one of us can understand this. So this is 300 crores. This is rupees 300 crore. Absolutely fine. Sir, but is it what has been asked? No. We have been asked what is the import in the year 1999. But that we can find. How come we can find? We know that from the graph, we know that the ratio in the year 1999 between import and export is 1.4, right? So this is 1.4. So what we know is import upon export in the year 1999 is 1.4. Fabulous. And what is the export in the year 99? We have already discussed that it is 300 crores. And if it is 300 crores, then can we find the value? Of course we can. So this is import 1999, this is 300 crores, and this is 1.1. So import 1999 would be 420. This is rupees 420 crores. I want the people to take a small breather and go through this once first. This is what we have discussed. I have written every single step, and why I have written every single step? Because all of you are students from technical background, right? So it might be possible, it takes some time to understand, but you guys are smart, so you will definitely understand this. Take a small breather, go through this once. Let me repeat this once again. So what is that I have given in this case? I have given a graph. What kind of graph is it? Have a look at the graph. The graph that I have given to you is a YOY graph. It's a year-on-year graph or a year-to-year graph, right? See, there is one more way. There are actually quite a few ways of giving a graph. You may give a graph like this YOY graph. Similarly, you can have a QOQ graph, and similarly, you can have a MOM graph. Sir, what is this MOM graph? This is not a MOM graph. This is month on month or month to month graph, right? So, to all those people who are avid readers, they may have come across this kind of graph, especially in economic times. Is it fine? Is it fine, guys? Is it clear to all? So, what I have given in this case, I have given you a YOY graph. It might be possible I may give the very same graph and I represent the only first year, and I may delete rest of the years, and I can directly write it's a YOY graph. So that it is you who has to decide, it is you who has to understand, because the very first year is 1995 and it is a YOY graph. It means 96, 97, 98, 99, like that, right? So this is what we've understood, right? Great. Other than that, what we've discussed, we have understood that the x-axis represents the year on year and the y-axis represents import upon export ratio. And I said whenever it is not an absolute quantity, it is a ratio, it is a fraction, or it is a percentage, we should give easy in that case. Nice. What has been given to us? Import in the year 1998 was given to us, and that was 250 crore rupees. So this was 1998, okay, fine. and in the year 1998 import upon export was 1.25. So what is that we have done? We have directly used this number to find the export in the year 1998. We were told that the export in the year 1998 and 1999 was 500 crores. So just by replacing this 200 crores and subtracting with this, we've got export in the year 1999. Fabulous. In case of 1999, so here it is, the ratio between import upon export was 1.4, and we know that the export in the year 1999 was 300 crores, so we can easily find the import in the year 1999. Is it fine, everybody? This is what we have discussed. This was actually a very beautiful graph. So this is what we have discussed in this case, right? I want you people to jot a small note. What is that, sir? I want you people to write a very small note. A very small note. Many a times you may come across terms like this. X percentage of Y is equals to Y percentage of X. The very first thing is it correct? Of course it is correct. Of course. What is X percentage? X divided by 100. What is this? This is Y. And what is this? This is Y. Divide by 100 into X. So we can clearly see that this is basically XY upon 100 and this is XY upon 100. So both these terms are equal, and if you want you can take values, take X equal to 10, so here it will be 10, 10. Take Y equal to 20, so it will be 20 and this will be 20%. If you want you can, if you want you may check it like this as well. 10% of 20 is equals to 20% of 10. This is one of those extremely prolific questions which come in banking sector exams, right? Very, very common question. Sir, let us suppose if we want to add these two terms, that's also fine. Even if you would like to add instead of this, we know that both these terms are equal. If you want to add these two terms, this will be 2 times of xy upon 100. Now whatever you want to write in terms of percentage, what does that mean? It means we may write it as 2% of xy, that is also correct. If you want, you may write x percentage of 2y. You can take x by 100 as percentage. Of course, that is also correct. If you want, you may write, if you may write y percentage of 2x. Yes, absolutely. All these three statements are equally correct. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to each and every one of you? Is it fine? Absolutely. Right? So I think this is absolutely clear to each and every one of you. IISc Bangalore has asked the very same question in the year 2016. Sir, what is that they have asked? The question I am about to show you, this is the one they have asked in, this is the one they have asked in the year 2016. Once again, let me tell you that this question is available in the PDF and it is there in Telegram channels, Get Academy Global as well as Saurabh Official, right? This PDF is available, right? So, anyone who has not downloaded it, I must say that you should download this. These 120 questions will give you a good helicopter view of how this GATE General Aptitude paper looks like, right? So this will give you a very good, I won't say holistic view, but yes, it will definitely give you a good helicopter view. So question number 17. So this was the question. I think this is just a cakewalk. Very, very easy, absolutely direct question. This was the question which was there in the year 2016. 2016 was the year in which IISc Bangalore made the paper. Absolutely. Just now we have discussed this. Both these terms are actually same. And that is why this is 2 times of xy divided by 100. And now it is totally up to your conscience. Whichever term you want to take as percent in the form of percentage. So this is 2% of xy, absolutely correct. And in the very first option, they have given the option, that is why it is an absolute cakewalk. I do believe that each one of us, we have understood this. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to all? Right? Absolutely correct. So we have, each one of us, we have understood this. Right? Right. So this is a very, very beautiful, very simple question. Let's take 2 very important points from your exam. Listen to this very, very carefully. Let us suppose E represents your monthly expenditure. Great, monthly expenditure on fuel. P represents price of the fuel and C represents the consumption. Okay. If A represents your monthly expenditure on fuel and P represents the price of the fuel and C represents the consumption. Okay. Listen to this. I have not given this question directly. First of all, let me explain this because I have given only one question in the PDF, right? Listen to this. Let us suppose your monthly expenditure, just to make you understand, let us suppose your monthly expenditure pans out to be 1000 rupees. Okay. So your monthly expenditure is 1000 rupees. Great. And then why it is 1000 rupees? Just for the sake of ease, let us suppose price of the petrol is 100 rupees per liter. So your monthly consumption is actually 10 liters. Fabulous. So by the end of the month, you end up consuming 1000 liter of 1000. By the end of the month, by the end of the month, you end up spending 1000 rupees. Absolutely fine. Now listen to this. What I am about to say, we can relate this to 5 different points, and that is why listen to this very, very carefully. Great. If what? Price of the fuel is increased by R percentage. Sir, why you are taking R? Because I want you people to feel R equals to rate, because I will be associating the same concept with 5 different points, right? So I will be associating this very thing with 5 different points. If price of the fuel is increased by R percentage, the consumption must be reduced by what? R divided by 100 plus R into 100 percentage, such that what? Such that this expenditure remains constant. Okay. Sir, so we have done this to keep the expenditure constant, right sir? Absolutely. If price of the fuel is increased by R percentage, then the expenditure, then the consumption must be reduced by this percentage, such that what happens? Such that the expenditure remains constant. So whatever we are discussing and we will discuss, we are keeping this part constant. Great. Similarly, let us suppose if the price of the fuel is reduced by R percentage, then the consumption must be increased. I want you people to remember this. It's a very, very important point, and this is actually part and parcel of many different exams, right? So in this case, if price of the fuel is decreased by R percentage, the consumption must increase by this much percentage, such that what? Such that the expenditure remains constant. So sir, it means that whatever we have been discussing, whatever we have discussed so far in these two cases, we are considering expenditure to be constant, of course. That is why one commodity increase, the other commodity has to decrease. One commodity decrease, therefore the other commodity has to increase. I think we have understood this. Let's take an example of this. And do remember this, once again I am saying this, whatever I have said, this is to keep the expenditure constant. This we need to understand, right? So this we need to understand. What is that we need to understand? Whatever we have discussed, we are trying to keep this expenditure constant, and thus we have said that if price of the fuel is increased or decreased by those percentage which I have mentioned earlier, if this is the price, this is the consumption. If price of the fuel is increased by R percentage, then what happens? And decreased by R percentage, then what happens? Fabulous. It's a very good point, and do remember that's actually very, very important to your exam, right? If price of the fuel is increased by R percentage, so this will be R divided by 100 plus R into 100 percentage. But what it has to do? It has to decrease by this much percent. On the contrary, if the price decrease, this has to increase by this much percent. This has to increase by this much percentage. I think this is absolutely fine. Is it clear, buddy? Shall we take an example? Yes, of course we should take an example. Of course we should take an example. Let's see this. Let's take an example. Let us suppose if price of the fuel, okay, what happens to that? If price of the fuel is, if price of the fuel is increased by 25%, don't miss this. If price of the fuel is increased by 25%, then the consumption must reduce by 25. Let me write every single step so that you can understand. 100 plus 25 into 100%. Very nice. And what should happen? The consumption must decrease such that the expenditure remains constant. Is it fine, everybody? Absolutely fine. Right? So this is the answer. So what is this? This is 20%. Great. So how am I supposed to read this? If price of the fuel increased by 25%, the consumption must reduce by 20% such that the expenditure remains constant. I think each of us, we have understood this, right? Nice. I think we should discuss this as well. If price of the fuel is decreased by, let's take a small example. If price of the fuel is decreased by 20%. Now what should happen to the consumption? This must increase. In this case, so this would be 10 divided by 100 minus 10 into 100%. So what is 10 by 90? 11.11%. Is it fine, everybody? So this must increase by 11.11%. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to each and every one of you? Right? I think it is clear to each and every one of you. Right? I think we have understood this. Great. I am writing every single step so that you can understand this very easily. It's actually very easy concept, right? I don't want to bombard you with information so that you cannot able to understand. Let's take this very, one step at a time in a very simple language. Fine? Is it clear, buddy? Is it clear to all? So what we've understood in this, I want you people to take a small breather, and this is actually what we have discussed. Yes, this is what we have discussed. What is that we've discussed? We have discussed E equals to PC. Great. And in this, what we have understood, if price of the fuel is increased by R percentage, the consumption must be reduced by R divided by 100 plus R percentage. On the contrary, if price of the fuel is decreased by R percentage, the consumption must be increased. Great. Sir, I have a small doubt, like this is what you've said. Yes. Sir, is it only for when the price is given and you need to find the consumption? No, vice versa. If the same question would have been, if the consumption is increased by 25%, by what percentage the price must be reduced? Absolutely same. If the consumption is reduced by R percentage, by what percentage price must be increased? Absolutely same. And not just this, Now listen to this point. This will help you understand in a much better. And not just this. You want to keep the expenditure constant? Yes. So whatever I have said earlier is valid. First point. Second point, distance is equals to speed into time. This is what we have discussed in the last two classes, the previous two classes. You want to keep distance constant? Absolutely valid. Let's take the third case. Length of a rectangle, area of a rectangle is equals to length into breadth. If you want to keep area constant, the same concept is valid. Let's take the fourth one. Revenue, R-E-V-E-N-U. Revenue is the amount of money you make. Revenue is equals to price into sale. You want to keep revenue constant. Exactly the very same thing is valid if one of the commodity increases by R percentage, the other must be decreased by R, divide by 100 plus R into 100%. On the contrary, if one of the commodity decreases by R percentage, the other one must increase. The other one must increase by what? R divided by 100 minus R percentage. I think it's absolutely fine. Sir, you mean to say that whatever we have discussed in this previous example is equally valid in these cases as well? Absolutely. This is exactly what I meant. Sir, you mean to say that instead of expenditure, if I write D, so I can take this as speed and I can take this as time? Yes. Sir, you mean to say that if the speed of a body is increased by 25%, by what percentage the time must be reduced so that the distance remains constant? And that is why we have discussed the concept of time difference. Sir, you mean to say that in the third case, if for area of a rectangle, I may write it area and I may write length and this as breadth. If length of rectangle is decreased by r percentage, then the breadth must be increased by this much such that the area remains constant. Yes, of course. And similarly, in the case of revenues equals to price into sale as well. If you want, you may write revenue and this is price and this is sale. This is equally valid. And not just this, there is one more case. All these cases, I personally call them, I prefer calling all these cases as x into y equals to constant cases. I love to call them x into y equals to constant. Just to align it like this, let me write constant first just to make it look like this. Constant is equals to x into y. So every single place wherever you come across this is absolutely valid. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to each and every one of you? I do believe that it is absolutely fine. It is absolutely clear. And not just this, you will be amazed and astounded. This exactly the same thing is valid. Where? In the fifth case. What is the fifth case? The fifth case is if there are two numbers A and B, and if this number A is greater than the B number by R percentage, by what percentage? By what percentage B is less than A? Exactly the same thing is valid. If A and B are two guys such that A's salary is R percentage more than B's salary, by what percentage B's salary is less than A's salary? Absolutely valid. I think this is fair and square now. I have given you one question. I have given one question to you guys. So you can practice this. I have given just one question. I think you have understood this, right? So shall I consider we can able to do question number 80 first? Shall I consider this? We are in this position to complete this question number 81. I think this is very, very easy now, right? So I want to be able to solve this and post this once this video will be live. Shall I consider this will be done? Absolutely fine. Great. Well done. So I think we are in this position that we can definitely complete this, right? Great. There is one more concept. Let's understand that concept as well, right? Great. For example, if you have 100, let us suppose if you have 100 rupees, let us suppose if you have 100 rupees, right? And what has happened? Your father saw you studying and he said, because you are studying, I have seen you studying for some time, so let me increase the 20% of money you have. Great. So he has actually incentivized you by giving you 20% more money. So earlier you had 100 rupees, he has given you a small incentive so that you can keep on studying, and that is 20 rupees. Now you have got 120 rupees. Absolutely fine. Now what has happened? Your mother saw this, and your mother, after seeing this, she has given you 30% more money. So what she has done? She has given you 30% more money, right? She has given you 30% more money. So earlier you had 120 rupees, now you had 36 more rupees, and that is at the end of the day you've got 156 rupees, which is absolutely fine. This is absolutely correct. But the very same thing we can solve using successive percentage change. And how we can do this? We can solve this entire thing using successive percentage change. Although I am not a very strong admirer, I am not very fond of successive percentage change, but still I think I should explain this. If there is a percentage, if there is a change of A percentage followed by an immediate change of B percentage, it is as good as A plus B plus AB upon 100. Sir, what is the meaning of this? If there is a change, if there is an increase, so we'll take positive. If there is a decrease, we'll take negative. If there is a change of A percentage followed by another change of B percentage, it is as good as one single change of this much percentage. I think this is fair enough. So shall we take this as an example? Yeah, we should. Let's take this. Because there is an increase of 20 percentage, there is an increase of 30 percentage. Because there is an increase, let's take positive. So 20% plus 30% plus 20 into 30 divide by 100. Fabulous, nice. It means that this is 20 plus 30, that is 50. So all in all, there is an increase of what? There is a clear-cut increase of 56%. Fabulous. So from here, if you directly increase 56%, you can directly get to this point. Sir, I have understood this. But during this, you said one statement, you are not very strong admirer of this. And why is it so? Because I believe that because it is valid only for 2%. Because it is valid for only 2%. Instead of solving this, see, the point is what we know. We know if you have 1 rupee, forget about everything. Let's suppose you have 1 rupee. And if it is increased by 10%, right? So it means you had 1 rupee and now you had 1.1 rupee. So this was the initial value. On the contrary, this is a final value. But see, this is not important. The important part is when you write 1.1, what it means. When you write 1.1, it means there is a clear-cut increment of 10%. It means that you want to say that, sir, you want to say that there is an increment of, if there is an increment of 10%, we should directly write 1.1, of course. If there is an increment of 20%, you mean to say that we should directly write 1.2. Yes, indeed we should. Sir, it means you are saying that if there is an increment of 30%, we should directly write 1.3. Of course we should. Sir, what happens if there is a decrement? What kind of? Let us suppose if there is a decrement of 10%. In that case, the final value would be 0.9. Something which was worth 1 rupee, now it is 0.9. Actually, there are 3 different words: value, worth and utility. But we are not discussing economics. If we would have been discussing economics, I would have discussed that as well. Value, worth and utility. And then there is something called diminishing marginal utility. But that is part of microeconomics, so we are not concerned about it, right? We are not discussing microeconomics, we are discussing aptitude. Right? So that is not required right now. Let's take the very basic idea. We need to understand the surface of the iceberg, so the rest of things is not important, right? Fine, let's come back to this. So here the tip of the iceberg is, if there is a decrement of 20%, so we may directly write it 0.8. Great, fabulous. Sir, you mean to say that instead of writing all these things, what is that you are suggesting? I am suggesting that because you had 100 rupees and then you can clearly see that there is an increment of 20%, so write it 1.2. And then there is an increment of 30%, so you should write directly 1.3. Now this. So this, what this shows is the final value is this much. Absolutely perfect. I think this is fantastic. Sir, you mean to say that, let us suppose what? Let us suppose a few cases. Let us suppose we have, let's take a few cases. What kind of cases? Let's take these cases. Okay. This 1, 2, 3, 4. This is A, this is B, this is A plus B plus AB upon 100. Right? Okay. So what happened? If there is an increment of 10%, there is a decrement, there is another increment of 20%. There is an increment of 10% and then there is a decrement of 20%. then there is a decrement of 10% and there is an increment of 20%, and finally 10% decrement and this 20% decrement. So sir, what you are suggesting is you personally don't prefer solving it like this, right? Yes, absolutely. So how do you prefer? This is what I personally prefer. If there is an increment of 10%, this is as good as 1.1 and then there is 1.2. Because there is an increment of 20%. So how it looks like? 1.32. We can clearly see that there is an increment of 30. There is an increment of 32%, even if you want to find this as well. Subtract 1. So why should I subtract 1? Final value minus initial value divided by initial value, right? So what is the final value? This is the final value. If you want to find, nobody does this, actually you can clearly see that the number that is written immediately after the decimal, that is the answer, right? So that is visible, right? So there is an increment of 10%, so this is this. There is a decrement of 20%, so 0.8. So what is the final value? The final value pans out to be 0.88. The moment you say the final value is 0.88, it automatically means that there is a decrement of 12%. Do we understand this? There is a decrement of 12%, so that's not a problem. There is a decrement of 10%, so now this is worth 0.9, this is worth 1.2. 12 into 9, what is that? 1.08. And because it is 1.08, there is an increment of 8%. As simple as this. There is an increment of 8%. And finally, to close this, if there is a decrement of 10% and then there is a decrement of 8%, 20%. So this is how it looks like. So all in all, this is 0.72. See, that is the final value. Because that is the final value, we can clearly see that there is a decrement of 28%. And I think each of us, we have understood this. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to each and every one of you? I think it is clear, right? It is absolutely clear to each and every one of you. Shall I consider this is done? Right? Especially in your exam, they ask questions like this. Absolutely direct questions. Sir, what kind of direct questions are you talking about? Like this. For example, if you have a circle, okay, with radius small r, okay, and what happens? Let us suppose if radius of the circle, increases by 10% or decreases by 10%, so what happens to the circumference or what happens to the area? What happens to the area? Let's see that, right? So let's see that. As we know that circumference is equals to 2 pi r. Forget about it. It means it is directly proportional to r. So if the radius increases by 10%, so what should happen to the circumference? Circumference must also increase by 10%. As simple as this. Great. It means that this is what you are saying, right? It should increase by 10% and it should decrease by 10%. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what I am saying. Right? So this is what has happened. On the contrary, in case of area, we know area is pi r square, that is area is directly proportional to radius square. And if this is the case, this is what is going to happen. 1.1 into 1.1. So this is 1.21 and it means the area was increased by 21%. Is it fine, everybody? I think we have understood this. Is it clear, everybody? Is it fine? No, tomorrow will be my last class. This is the penultimate class. Tomorrow I am going to take the last class. Right? I think it is fair enough. Right? So this is decreased by 10%. If it is decreased by 10% in this case, so finally the area, we can say this is the final area. See, what is the meaning of this? There is a clear-cut decrement of 19%. Is it clear, everybody? Right? I think it is absolutely clear. Right? I think this is absolutely fine. Right? Great. Well done. So I think this is absolutely fine. I want you people to find the answer of this. What answer? I want you people to find this answer. What answer? instead of 10% if there is an increment of 20%, and instead of 10% if there is a decrement of 30%. So what will going to happen to the circumference and the area? If there is an increment of 20%, I want to be able to find the answer right now. If there is an increment of 10%, 20%, and if there is a decrement of 30%, what will going to happen to the circumference and what will happen to the area? I want the people to find the answer right now, right? Whatever the answer pans out to be, I want the people to jot the answer. Go ahead. Great, well done. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice. Rest of the people, make it fast, please. Great. I have given this PDF. This PDF is already available in the Telegram channel. If you want, you can find the PDF in the Gate Academic Global Telegram channel. Apart from that, the same PDF is available in the Saurabh Sir official Telegram channel as well. Fine. I think we should discuss that, right? If there is an increment of 20%, because circumference is directly proportional to radius, so the answer pans out to be, here also we can see an increase of 20%. Here we can see decrement of 30%. I don't think there's any trouble with this. And these kind of questions have been part and parcel of your GATE exam. Especially in the past 4 or 5 years, if you have seen the paper, you may have come across this kind of questions very, very frequently, right? So from my side, you can put up a single star on this. In this case, what should be the answer? The answer must be 1.2 square, and that is why 1.44, and thus we can clearly see that there is an increment of 44%. Absolutely phenomenal. Great. Shall we take the last one? Yes, of course we should. So this is 0.7 square, because we know that there is a decrement of what? There is a decrement of 30%. So this is 0.49. So there is a decrement of 51%. I think it is clear to each and every one of you. So sir, is it valid only in case of circle? Why it will be valid only in case of circle? In fact, let's do one thing. Let me give you a small assignment. So this will be another student dharma. Let us suppose we have a square. Okay. If we have a square and if the side of the square is small a, if this is the case, the side of the square is small a, and if this side is increased by 10% or if it is decreased by 20%. I want the people to find what will happen to perimeter. Not right now, you can solve it later on and you can put it and you can post it in the comment box, right? What will happen in case of, what will happen to the perimeter and what will happen to the area? Not just this, let me take a very, the very same question what has been asked in your GATE exam. And what is that? This is what they have asked. We know that this is a right circular cone, okay? And what is the volume of a right circular cone? Volume of a right circular cone is 1/3 pi r square h. Back to back in 2 different years, they have asked a very similar question. What is that they have asked? They have asked if the height of the cone remains constant. Okay, fine. Fabulous. The moment someone says the statement, what is the meaning of this? See, we know that 1/3 is already constant. If someone says height is constant, then this question is just a cakewalk. And why is it so? Because it is a cakewalk because volume is directly proportional to radius square. Fabulous. And then if we have been told that, let us suppose if radius is increased by 10%, if radius is decreased by 20%, if radius is increased by 25%. By the way, this is what they have asked. This is exactly the same question what was asked in your GATE exam, right? So what will happen to the volume? If radius increases by 10%, what will happen to the volume? What will happen to the volume? So this will be 1.1 square. So it means the volume must have increased by 21%. I think this is absolutely fine. It is clear? I think it is absolutely fine. Because in this case, the radius was decreased by 20%. So now this is 0.8 square. So now the current volume is 0.64. That is, there is a clear cut decrement of 36%. I think this is fair and square. This is absolutely perfect. And this was the question which actually was asked in your exam. If this is increased by 25%, what is the square of 125? 15625. So this is 15625. Here it is decimal. So it means it is increased by 56.25%. I think we have discussed a lot of things. So this is what we have discussed. And I think this is fair enough. This is fair enough now. Yeah. Fine. So I think this is absolutely clear to each and every one of you. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to all? I think this is clear to each and every one of you. Right? Fine. Shall I proceed further? Yes, I think we should. Right? So to practice this, I have given one more question and I want you people to finish this off. Question number 82. I want you people, not right now, you can finish this question number 82 and you can post the answer in the comment box. Fine, shall I consider we can complete this? Right. Right. So there is something that we have discussed earlier. What is that? Percentage change. Yes, absolutely. This is definitely we have discussed earlier. Absolutely correct. There is something that we have already discussed. And we have already discussed that change can be anything, change can be profit, change can be loss, change is a neutral word. So if you are writing gain percentage or profit percentage, it only means selling price minus cost price, right? It only means selling price minus cost price upon cost price into 100 percentage. On the contrary, when you find loss percentage, what do you mean? You mean the very same thing, but the answer comes out in negative. Absolutely correct. But the answer is there in negative. This is what we have discussed. Let's take a very basic question. Right? Let's take a very basic question. I have given this question over here. If you want, you can see question number 83rd. I'm sorry. If you want, you can see question number 83rd. If you want, you can see question number 83rd. If you want, you can check question number 83rd. Very basic question. Once again, to those people who have the PDF, fabulous. To those people who don't have the PDF, you can download it. Please download it as soon as possible. It is available in Gate Academy Global Telegram channel. Under that, Saurabh sir official. What is written? Anirudh bought 8 lemon. Okay. This guy bought how many lemons? This guy bought 8 lemons for ₹1. Fine. So if this 8 lemon are for ₹1, so 1 lemon is for 1/8 of ₹1. If this guy is buying this, we are talking about cost price. Because this guy is selling only, as we know that this guy is selling only 6 lemon for ₹1, it means 1 lemon is worth 1/6 rupee. Fabulous. We can definitely find profit or percent. First of all, what is happening? Profit or loss? We can clearly see this. 8 is greater than 6. So 1/8. So 1/6 would be greater than 1/8. 16.61%. 1/8 is 12.5. Definitely there is a profit. So I am clearly writing profit percentage. And because it is profit percentage, selling price minus cost price upon cost price into 100%. So this will be 1/6 minus 1/8, 1/8 into 100%. I want you people to find the answer of this. The answer pans out to be what? 33.33% profit. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to all? Right? I think it is absolutely fine to each and every one of you. Right? Great. So I think this question is absolutely clear to each and every one of you, right? Shall I proceed further? Great. So I think we should discuss this, right? Let's move ahead. You know what, when you, let us suppose you went to any shopping mall or any shopping center and you want to buy a pair of jeans. Okay. So this is the pair of jeans you have selected. This is the pair of jeans you have actually selected, right? And when you saw the tag, it was 1000 rupees. Listen to this. So this is basically marked price. What does that mean, sir? The price which is mentioned on jeans. So you may call it marked price or maximum retail price or catalog price, original price or list price. There are many terms to this. MP marked price, MRP maximum retail price, original price. Original price is also the same. LIST list, not LEST, LIST list. Because it is written in the list, because it is written in the catalog. Catalog price, CATALOGU, catalog price. Then furthermore, we need to understand this. Whenever a discount is given, unless mentioned otherwise, what did I say? Unless mentioned otherwise, discount is always given on the marked price. Unless mentioned otherwise, discount is always given on the marked price. Great. So this would be selling price. Whether it is profit, whether it is loss, we always calculate profit or loss with respect to cost price. I want to be able to draw this. This is actually very important and I want to be able to draw this. Right? Let's use this. We need to understand that selling price is a common junction between marked price, selling price and cost price, selling price. So let us suppose a scenario. Let's take a small case. What kind of case? There is a shopkeeper. You went to buy a pair of jeans. Okay, fine. First of all, let's take this example, then we'll take one more. First of all, I've forgot to finish this actually. Let's take this example first. What has happened? If you went to the shop and there was a jeans and the price printed was 1000 rupees, this is what I've said, right? And the shopkeeper told you, sir, because you are 100 customers, so I'll be giving you a discount of 25%. Not 25%, 20%. Let's take 20%. You said fabulous. So now you will be getting the same jeans at 800 rupees. Fabulous. Let us suppose the manufacturing cost, the production cost of this jeans is, let us suppose this is 500 rupees. That is whether this guy has made the jeans at 500 rupees or even if he is not a wholesaler, if he is a retailer, he bought the jeans for 500 rupees. So we can clearly see there is some profit. And what is the profit? Selling price minus cost price upon cost price into 100%. Nice. And if this is the case, what we can see in this case, we can write it like this: 800 minus 500 divide by 500 into 100. So there is a profit of 60%. I think this is absolutely fine, right? So I think this is absolutely fine to each and every one of you. So when you went to the shop, it was the amount which was imprinted was 1000 rupees. This guy gave you a discount of 20%, and now the same jeans is available at this price of 800 rupees. And then what has happened? After giving discount, one more thing, discount percentage is also called commission percentage. Write this. Discount percentage is equals to commission percentage, right? Do remember this. If this jeans costed this guy, the shopkeeper, 500 rupees, he is clearly making a profit of 60%. Fabulous. Let's take a small example in this, with this, the very same thing. I said unless mentioned otherwise, the discount is always given on market price, unless mentioned otherwise. So let's put up discount over here. Let's take a small scenario. Right? Let's take a small scenario. Let's take this. You went to a shop, this shopkeeper gave you a discount of 20%. Fabulous. The shopkeeper gave you a discount of 20%. Even after giving a discount of 20%, the shopkeeper made a profit of 25%. That's remarkable. Even after giving a discount of 20%, the shopkeeper still made a profit of 25%. So we have been asked by what percentage the market price, what percentage the goods were raised. The meaning is the percentage increase between cost price and market price. By what percentage the price of the goods were, by what percentage the price of the goods were raised. Listen to this. The common junction between cost price and market price is selling price. Come to the selling price from both the directions. Let's see this. Let us suppose if the marked price, I take this marked price as X rupees. If this is the case, we have discussed enough percentage, right, to understand this. It means if there is a discount of 20%, it means we can say the selling price is equals to 0.8x. Right? To those people who are actually more confident in fraction, they may write like this. Either of the ways you can write, that's not a problem. See, that is not that big a deal. If there is a discount of 20% and we have considered market price to be X, so the selling price must be 0.8x or 4 by 5x. Let's take altogether a different variable. Let's take a different variable. If I consider the cost price to be Y, so there is a clear cut profit of 25%. So if you want, you may write 1.25y or 5 by 4y. Excuse me, it is up to you. But whatever you write, we need to understand both these things are actually representing selling price. So sir, you mean to say that we can directly write 0.8x is equals to 1.25y, or if you are very confident with this fraction part, so you want, if you want, you can write it like this. This is not a bad idea. Why this is not a bad idea? Because now this pans out like this. This is beautiful. So this is what this 25 by 16. This is phenomenal. Sir, why this is phenomenal? Because this has clearly told you the value of MP. What is 25 by 16? 25 by 16 would be 1.5625, yes. 62, yes, 1.5625. Absolutely fine. And if this is the case, I want to be able to check the calculation. I think this is correct, but still check the calculation. So this is 1.25, 0.8y. So this is 1.5625. So, but what exactly this signifies? This signifies that if this is y, this is x or 1.5625y. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? This means the marked price was 56.25 more than the cost price. By this much percentage, this was raised. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to each and every one of you? We have discussed a lot of things actually, and we are actually discussing a lot of things. Please pay attention to this and keep jotting every single point. It means the marked price was 56.25% more than the cost price. Is it clear, everybody? Is it clear to all? I think it is clear to each and every one of you, right? So sir, the basic idea was use selling price as a common junction, of course. Mark price and then cost price. So between mark price and selling price, and then cost price and selling price. So that will help. I think this is good enough. Is it clear, buddy? Is it clear to each and every one of you? Right? Fine. So I think this is clear, right? Great. I think we should write one more note. And what is that? Let's write one more note. What is that? In percentage, let's bring something that we call average. Right? Great. When you were young, you had many toys, but I don't think right now you would prefer playing with all those toys. So what your mother has done, she has taken all the toys and she has put this all these toys in a box. So let us suppose there are n1 number of toys in the first box. How many toys are there? n1 number of toys. The average, whatever that is, cost price, weight, or even if you are about to sell, the selling price, whatever that is. The average, just for the sake of understanding, let's take cost price. The average cost price of all these, or the average weight, whatever you want, you can take, of all these toys of are A1. You might have made one more box and it has got n2 number of toys. And the average of all these toys would be, let us suppose, is A2. Then there's a third box. And the average of all these three boxes, the average of the third box is, let us suppose, A3. Okay. And after that, similarly, there are many more boxes. And finally, let us suppose this is the kth number of box. And the average is AK, right? Okay, great, well done. So what? It means that the overall average, which we call AW, that is weighted average, looks like this: A1 N1 plus A2 N2 plus A3 N3 AK NK divided by N1 plus N2 plus N3 up to NK. So this is actually the concept for average, right? Absolutely, this is the very same concept. This is what we know when we come across this word average, right? So whenever we come across the word average, we say A1 N1 plus A2 N2 plus A3 N3 up to AK NK divided by N1 plus N2 plus N3 up to NK. This is the same thing that we have written in case of average speed. S1 T1 plus S2 T2 plus S3 T3 plus Sn or Sk Tk divided by total time. Great. And this is the same thing what many of you heard as what? In case of mixture alligation, many of you actually prefer writing it like this. How you write? A1, A2, this is AW, and this is N1 and this is N2. So sir, then why have you written it like this? Because what is the meaning of mixture alligation? When you mix two or more things, similar, for example, two or more solids, two or more liquids, two or more gases, it means similar state, then it is called mixture. And the ratio in which you mix them, that is alligation. The set of rules that you follow is alligation, right? So that is what happens in case of mixture alligation. So sir, why you have not written it like this? Because sir, that is what I have read in one of the book. It is absolutely correct. That is not a problem. This is N1 upon N2. So this is A2 minus AW upon AW minus A1. So sir, why have you not written like this? Because this will not help you when there are more than two liquids, more than two components actually, more than two liquids, more than two solids, whatever that is. So that you need to understand this. But in your exam, what happens? Usually they will tell you there are two different components in a mixture. In that case, we may directly write it like this: AW is equals to A1 N1 plus A2 N2 divided by N1 plus N2. Is it fine, everybody? Similarly, if you want, you may write the same thing as N1 N2 is equals to A2 minus AW divided by AW minus A1. And this is such a direct point you won't believe. Such a direct point. Sir, how is it, sir? Let me explain this. Just a minute. Let's take this 60th, 70th. Yeah, after this. Yeah, so this is the question. Let's take this. So what is that I have given you? And you won't believe, in most of the competitive exams, they ask this point absolutely directly, right? What is that they ask? This is what they actually ask. Let us suppose this. This is a very basic example. So what has been given to us? This. AW, we know AW is equals to A1 N1 plus A2 N2 divided by N1 plus N2. I want to people to write a small note. And what is that? Whether it is A1, A2, AW or A1, A3, AW, make sure, even if it is A1, A2, AW, make sure that A1, A2, AW, all these things must be in sync. What does that mean? If A1 represents cost price, A2 must represent cost price, and so AW. If A1 represents weight, so to AW and so to A3, this A2. So there must be a sync between A1, A2 and AW. All these things must represent the same thing. Second point, in your exam, it has been considered that water is present in abundance, so we'll take cost price of water as 0 rupees. In your paper, it has been assumed that water is present in abundance. So whenever the question is between milk and water, so we'll take water, cost price of water as 0, unless and until something else is mentioned. If it is mentioned that cost price of water is 10 rupees, we'll take that. If nothing is mentioned, we'll take 0, right? So let's come back to this. In what ratio must two different varieties of rice be mixed? Okay, so what is given? The first variety is 9.30 per kg. Great. And the price for the price for the other variety of rice is 10.80, and the mixture is worth rupees this much. That's great. So if you want to find the ratio, we can rearrange this, right? So that would be this A2 minus AW upon AW minus A1. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to all? Great. A2, what is A2? 10.80 minus 10 upon 10 minus 10.9.30. Absolutely fine. So what is the ratio? The ratio is 8 upon 7. That is 8 ratio 7. Is it clear to each and every one of you? Right? Right? Great. Fabulous. Nice. I think we should take the next example. This question was asked in your GATE exam in the year 2019. The very last year they have asked this question. And we will be doing this question in two different ways actually. Why I have taken this question, I'll explain this. They have asked this question in the year 2019, right? This particular question. So let's take this one into consideration. Okay. Let's take this one. The ratio of number of boys to girls, what is the ratio? 4:3. So if the number of boys to girls is given and this is 4:3. I'll be explaining the very same question in two different ways. So listen to this. 4:3. The total percentage of candidates who passed the exam, 80%. Okay, fine. Let us suppose total number of boys are 4040 multiplied by 10 and total number of girls are 3030. So the total number of students would be 7070. I think this is absolutely fine. This was the question. This question was asked in your GATE exam in the year 2019, last year. Percentage, if 80% students pass the exam. So these are those people who passed the exam and these are those guys who could not able to. P bar is could not able to. What percentage? 80%. So what does that mean? If 80% could able to pass, it means unfortunately 20% could not able to. If 80% could able to pass the exam, 80% of 70 would pan out to be 56 and this would be 20, I'm sorry, and this would be 1414. Great. I think this is good enough. Right. After that, to all those people who have cleared the exam, what we have seen that there are girls and 90% of the girls have cleared the paper. Great. So how many girls are there? Total number of girls are 30 and 90% of the girls. It means in case of girls who pass the exam. So girls who pass the exam are actually 90%. So there are overall there are 30 girls, 90%, it means 27 girls clear the exam. Fabulous. So how many girls could not able to clear? Just 3 girls could not able to clear the exam. Fine. In case of boys, I'll explain this twice, right? So listen to this. I'll explain this in two different ways. And in case of boys, we can clearly see that this represents total number of boys who passed the exam and total number of boys who could not able to. As we can see that out of 56, 27 girls have cleared the paper. It only means one thing, and what is that? It means 56 minus 27. What is this, sir? 56 minus 27? 56 minus 27, that is, this is the total number of boys who have cleared the paper. What is this? This is 29. I think we have understood this. Fabulous. Fabulous. So what has been asked? Now let's see what has been asked. We are to find the percentage of boys who passed the exam. So total there are 70 people who passed the exam. Total there are 56 people who have passed the exam and we need to find how many boys have cleared the paper. So 29, and how many boys were there? There were total 40 boys. So if you want to find the percentage, this would be boys who have passed upon total number of boys. This. So what is this? 29 upon what? 4040 and this. That is 72.50%. This is one way of solving this. This is definitely one way of solving this question, right? Other than this, can we do anything else? Yes, we can. And what is that we can do? Now let's do this in one more way. Now let's solve this, the very same question in one more way. How can we do this? Let's see this. Let's take one more way into consideration, and what is that? AW is A1N1 plus A2N2 divided by N1 plus N2. Overall, what percentage of students cleared the paper? Overall, 80% of students. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? It means this is 80%. Great. So how many boys that we need to find? So what is the ratio of boys and girls? 4 ratio 3. So this is 4 plus 3. And what percentage of girls have cleared the exam? Yes. Great. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So A1 is equals to 560 minus 270. 270. I think this is absolutely fine. Is it fine, everybody? Divide by what? Divide by 4. This is 72.50%, and we can find the very same answer. Is it clear to each and every one of you? Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear to each and every one of you? I think this is absolutely clear, right? Great. Nice. So we have understood this. So what percentage of boys have cleared the paper? 72.50% of the boys, they have cleared the paper. So this question was asked in your exam in the year 2019. This question was asked in 2019. Right? So this is what asked. So this is what was asked in your exam. There is one more point that we can see. What is that? Let us suppose there is a vessel. Let us suppose there is a vessel, right? It has got X liter of pure liquid, okay? And if Y liter of liquid was taken out and Y liter of, and it is replenished with Y liter of water. Once again, now because the pure liquid was already replenished with Y liter of water, once again if you've done the same thing, Y liter of solution was taken out and Y liter of, it is replenished with Y liter of water, and if you have done this n number of times, there is a cask full of water. Let us suppose if there is X liter of water, and if Y liter of liquid, initially it was pure liquid, that was replenished with Y liter of water, and then Y liter of solution is replenished with Y liter of water, and if this process continued, then after n operations, what has happened? Then after n operations, the amount of pure liquid left in the cask, then the amount of pure liquid left in the cask would be x 1 minus y by x to the power of n. So from where we've got this? See this clearly. What is this? This is actually negative compounding. What else it is? In case of money, we have seen positive compounding. Principal is equals to 1 plus rate upon 100 number of years. That we'll see in the next class. That we'll see in our last class. What is happening over here? It is negative compounding. Is it clear, everybody? So after n operations, the amount of pure liquid left in the cask would be this. And this is actually a very important point. Let's see this, what has happened. And this is what they have asked. This is actually a very famous question. In fact, before this, let me take an example. Let us suppose initially this cask had 10 liter of liquid, right? And let us suppose if only 1 liter of liquid was taken out, and it was kept, and we've kept on replenishing it, and if this entire operation was done 3 times, I've written this absolutely clearly, right? So there was 10 liter of pure liquid, and if Y liter of liquid was taken out, and if this was replenished, and if this process was done 3 times, then after 3 operations, amount of pure liquid left in the cask would be 10, 1 minus 1 by 10 to the power of 3. As simple as this. What is that I have mentioned? If the amount of pure liquid initially in the cask was 10 liter, and if 1 liter of liquid was taken out, and if this process was done 3 times, then the amount of pure liquid after 3 operations, of course, left in the cask would be this. Okay, so this is 10, this is 9 by 10 cube. So all in all, what it means, after 3 operations, the amount of pure liquid left in the cask would be 7.29 liter. Is it fine, everybody? Is it clear, everybody? Is it fine? Right? Let's take the last point of today's class. This was the question which was asked in your exam, and I do believe that right now you are in this position to answer this, but I want the answer, I want the people to solve this and post this once this video will be available, right? So with this we'll call it off. I want you people to finish this off and post it in the comment box once this video is available on YouTube, right? I do believe that you are in this position to solve this question. So this is what we've discussed in today's class. I do believe that everything, whatever we've discussed, is absolutely clear. In tomorrow's class, we'll be discussing the very last topic, and I need probably 1.5 hours, something like that. So that will be my last class. I think I do believe that whatever we've discussed in today's class, everything is clear. Is it fine, everybody? In this particular segment, we've discussed negative compounding, and we'll see positive compounding, a few questions, and then we'll move on to the very last segment of percentage, and that will be work in time, right? So that is it for today's class. We'll definitely meet in the next class, and that will be my last class, and that will be tomorrow. Fine. See you then. Bye everybody. Take care. Jai Hind.